Good morning. How are you this morning? We're going to make some cinnamon raisin bread, and we're going to make it in a bread maker. So this is not homemade cinnamon raisin bread, made by hand and kneaded and let raise. I'm using a bread maker, and I'm using the Cuisinart. I think I've done a lot before on the Cuisinart, so you've probably seen it. And let me see if I can get Ryder a treat, and I will be right back. So I'll turn you this way so you can see where I am. So, how are you this morning? Happy Tuesday. I had plans today. I was going to go to Walmart. But my Jeep decided it needed to go in and be checked out. So, change of plans. I'm making bread this morning. This is the last bit I have, buddy. It's the last thing. You ready? It's the last one. Okay. So we are going to be using the bread maker, and I have it set up over here. And this is the Cuisinart. I'm hoping I'm saying that right and not butchering it. And yes, my hair is probably all over the place. I just got it up out of the way, so it's not in my way. But I'll bring you closer and let you see the bread maker. And this is the one that we're going to be using this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and get the bread pan out. So good morning, good morning. And this is so easy. I really like it because if I've got things to do, and today, of course, I'm going to be doing my bed clothing, so, So I have things to do, so I can use my bread maker, and it's going to save me a lot of time. I can just put everything together, put it in my bread maker, and my bread maker does everything for me. No, bad. So, that's what we're going to do this morning. And I'm going to go ahead and get my hands washed. So get you a cup of coffee and join me. And I'll show you how I make my cinnamon raisin bread in the bread maker. And it's very easy. I think you'll enjoy the video. So, let me get my hands washed, get you a nice drink, warm drink, cold drink, and join me. Let's make some cinnamon raisin bread this morning. Oh, I see you. He's not going to bother you. He's not going to bother you. Kitty and Puppy are having a little out this morning. I really don't know why, but they're having a little out this morning. They're having a little spat. Hi, good morning. How are you this morning? Okay, so to try and save a little bit of time, I did get all my ingredients ready. So I'm going to bring you over here and lower you down a little bit so you can see everything. But it might be too low. Okay. So I've got my bread pan. Say hi, good morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the instructions that came with the bread maker. And you have to make sure you go right down the line. Don't skip anything. And it's very, very important. If you're using a bread maker, make sure all of your ingredients are at room temperature. That's very important. And do not skip a step. and just go step by step right down the line. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So the first ingredient is 1 1/4 cups of whole milk at room temperature. And if you guys have been watching me, you know that I have powdered milk, and then I mix my own powdered milk. So I mix powdered milk, and it's at room temperature, and it's whole milk. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my bread basket. That's the first ingredient it calls for. This is so easy, and at first I didn't think I would like the bread maker, but it's amazing. I can put everything in it, and then the machine does all the work for me. And especially if I'm camping and I've got things to do, I can just put it all in there, turn it on, and it actually will keep it warm until I come back and I remove it from the bread maker. Okay, so 1 1/4 cups of room temperature whole milk. You follow the directions. Like I said, you do not want to skip anything. Okay, our next ingredient is 2 1/2 teaspoons of room temperature butter. And it doesn't really matter if it's salted or unsalted. I use salted butter, and it turns out just fine. So that would be your preference. One egg, one large egg at room temperature. One teaspoon of salt. And this is just your regular table salt. This is not sea salt. It's just your regular salt. What kind are you making? We have the same bread maker. Oh, okay. I'm making cinnamon raisin bread this morning. My husband loves the cinnamon raisin. 1 teaspoon of salt. And it calls for 1 1/2 teaspoons of granulated sugar. Now, if I was making the cinnamon swirl, it breaks it down. Here would be your regular bread, and then here is if you want to swirl it. I'm just making regular cinnamon raisin bread. So I'm going to be using the 1 1/2 tablespoons of granulated sugar plus the 1/3 cup of granulated sugar that I would be normally using in the swirl, because I'm not going to swirl it. I'm just making regular cinnamon raisin bread. So I'm adding 1.5 tablespoons of granulated sugar plus the 1/3 cup of regular granulated sugar. And 4 cups, and it calls for unbleached flour. Now, I've used both unbleached and bleached, and they've both turned out just perfect. This is bleached, and it's calling for unbleached, so that's completely up to you. And I'm just going to kind of scoop it in there so I don't make a big mess. Because you know flour is a little messy. So good morning if you're just joining us. We're making cinnamon raisin bread in the Cuisinart bread maker. think I can get the rest of that in there. Yeah. Now, I always kind of level it out, shake it out, because you don't want any of your dry ingredients, your yeast, to get into your wet ingredients. So you want to make sure it's all dry. And then I kind of make a little hole in the center, not too deep. Hopefully you can see that. Just enough to put my yeast. And you want to make sure that you are using the bread machine yeast. And I need 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, instant bread machine. So make sure that you have the instant bread machine yeast. And I need 2 teaspoons. This is so easy. And I just put that right down in that little hole. That I made there in the center. Hopefully you can see that okay. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, normally I would add your cinnamon if you're doing the cinnamon swirl. I'm just making a cinnamon raisin cake. I'm not swirling it. So I'm going to go ahead and add my cinnamon. And what I do with that, it's 2 1/2 teaspoons. Let me get another set of spoons out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the half in first. I may have to get another jar of cinnamon out. No, I got plenty in there. And you want to make sure that these measurements are exact. And what I do with my cinnamon is I kind of scatter it right along the outside and just let it blend in to my bread, because I'm making it a cinnamon raisin bread, not a swirl. And then I need 2 teaspoons. Again, you want to make sure these measurements are exact and go right down the line. Don't skip. Don't skip anything whenever you're putting all your ingredients in. You want to make sure that you follow that right down the line. And at first, like I said, I wasn't sure whether or not I would like the bread maker. But it is so handy, and my husband absolutely loves the bread. Okay. Now, that's all I have to do other than to put it over and into the machine. Wow, you are so damn hot. Okay, so I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to go over here and set this down into the machine. So, let me see if I can bring you here where you can see. Basically, you just set it down in and turn it until it locks. Oh, whoops. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, hoping I'm not bumping you around too much. If I am, I apologize. Okay, now, all I'm going to do is plug in the bread maker. And on the top, you'll see all of these different programs. I want to select number 1. So for program, I want to go until I'm on number 1. And then this is your color. You can select your color that you want, and this is the one that we prefer. And then your size. Wait a minute. I think I need a bigger one. Hold on, let me see. Which one does 2 pounds? Well, let me see. There, 2 pounds. Because I'm making a 2-pound loaf. So I have it on setting 1. I have my color selected. I want how dark do I want my crust and the size of my loaf. And then all I do is hit start. And as you can see, it has already started to mix. Now, if you do want to see what I do like about this one is it does have a light. There. So if you do want to look down in, you can look down in. I do like that feature with this bread maker. Okay, so the only thing that I didn't add is my raisins. And I have 1 1/4 cup of raisins. Now that will beep whenever it's time for me to add. So when that beeps, I'll just go over and add my raisins and then just let the bread machine do its thing. It's just that simple and that easy. So I'm just waiting for it to beep. So let me turn you around this way so you can see me. So that is nice and quick and easy, and then I can go do things that I want to get done today, and I know that my bread's already being made. And then I'll let it cool, and then I'll slice my bread. And then I will put it in the freezer, and then I will have it to go camping. Look, I got sun in my eyes. Because Mr. Z loves his cinnamon raisin bread toast. Cinnamon raisin toast for breakfast. When we're camping and at home. And with the 10-pound loaf, I get 10 slices or 12, I think 12 slices. And I will freeze it in a gallon freezer bag. And I will split it up into 2 freezer bags and freeze it. And then that way, anytime I want toast for breakfast, I already have it made. I know what ingredients is in it because I put those ingredients in it. I know that it's fresh because I baked it, let it cool, then I sliced it, and then I put it into the freezer for storage. So, how easy is that? I'm going to go ahead and set this in the refrigerator. And I'll bring you back over and let you see where we're at. And there you can see how it's all blending up nice. All that cinnamon is blending all the way through evenly. And you can kind of check it at this point, and if it looks like it's a little too wet, you can always add just a little bit, just a tiny bit of flour. But it looks to me like everything looks good because your temperature outside will sometimes change whether your dough is a little bit more moist or a little more dry. So if it looks like it's a little bit too moist, you can add just a little bit of flour, just a little bit at a time. Or if it's too dry and you feel it's too dry, you can add just a wee bit of milk, a little bit at a time, until the dough looks the consistency that you want it. So it's really quick, it's really easy. And again, we follow all this recipe that came with the bread maker, and we go right down the line. Now this is split into two different ones because this says cinnamon swirl, but I'm not swirling it. So if I was swirling it, I'd follow the top ones, and then I would wait, and then when it asked me to add, when it beeps, then I would add the swirl, and then I would add the raisins. But I'm not making the swirl. I'm just making basic cinnamon raisin bread, and all of it will be blended together. So now the only ingredient that I need to add will be the 1 1/4 cup of raisins whenever this beeps and tells me to add. And I love that feature because I can be doing something, hear it beep. If I'm making a banana nut bread, I know that it's time to come in and add the nuts and to the banana nut bread. Or if I'm making cinnamon raisin bread, I know that it's time to come in and add the raisins. So I always add those on that beep. So that fast, that easy, and very important, make sure that you're using the bread machine yeast. Very important. And make sure that your yeast is not touching your wet ingredients. So that's why you add all your wet ingredients first, then your flour, and then I make a little funnel hole there to put my yeast in. That way I know that I have not missed anything. And everything's been put in right down the line. And another thing is you want to make sure that your salt and your yeast do not touch, because that's not a good thing. You want to keep them separate. That's why it asks you to add the salt right after you add the eggs, or the egg. So make sure you do follow all of your ingredients right down the line. Don't skip anything or bounce back and forth. And every time your bread will turn out absolutely perfect. I have made a lot of the cinnamon raisin bread, and I actually have one piece left. And that's why I'm making bread today. Now, hopefully you can see that through there. And this is how I freeze it in the gallon freezer bags. And I was down to one slice, so I knew that I needed to make some cinnamon raisin bread for Mr. Z. And you can see how nice that is blended all the way through. And this is frozen, so he absolutely positively loves the flavor and the texture. And you can set your crust setting. This is what your crust setting would look like on the setting that I put it on. It's not dark, and it's not a real hard crust. It's more of a medium. It's soft. You can push in on the crust. So it's totally up to you what texture you want and how dark you want your crust. And you can set that setting with your bread machine. And I absolutely love it. And of course, these are very big slices. So what I'll do is I'll put them in the gap, slice them. And that, on my thumbnail, you've probably seen my bread laying on a... Hi, yes, I remember you. Good morning, Cole. How are you? You've probably seen that loaf of bread laying on my Our Daily Bread slicer. Now, that's a slicer guide. And I can lay my loaf of bread on there. I let it cool. That's why you see it wrapped in plastic. I'll let it cool completely, and then I will use the Our Daily Bread slicer and slice it. And that way I know that I get nice, even slices of bread. So, this is what we are making today. It is the cinnamon raisin bread. Hopefully you can still see that okay. And you can see how nice that cinnamon blended all the way through. The raisins, whenever you add them in, will be mixed very evenly all the way through. I'm really impressed with this machine as far as a review, and no, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. As far as a review on this machine, I would recommend it. It's very compact. And of course, if you've been following me, you know that I do a lot of camping. So I can just pick up this little compact bread maker and put it in my stuff when I go camping and take it camping with me. And if I want to make bread, I can just go and put all the ingredients in. And then if me and the puppies want to go outside and enjoy a little bit of the day, you know, go out and sit and get some sun, I can do that. I don't have to keep running back and forth to make the bread and go through the whole bread making process. And then when I come back in, I know my bread is done. And I know that this bread maker will keep it warm until I come in and remove the bread from the bread maker. So I absolutely, definitely love it. I love the taste of the bread. Oops, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. I'm sorry, I thought I had it on Do Not Disturb. Give me just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Forgot to take it off, or put it on Do Not Disturb. We had to take my Jeep over this morning and drop it off for service. Because when I turned on my AC on the passenger side of my car on the front vents, it's all blowing AC. But the vents on the driver's side is blowing hot air, even whenever I have it turned completely on AC. So, with warm weather being here, it definitely needed to be checked. And then they had just done a tire rotation for me and rotated all 4 of my tires. And one of my tires kept coming on the sensor and telling me that I had 0 air in my front passenger side tire. So they're going to check that to see if the sensor needs replaced. So I wanted to make sure I had all that done because we're going to be going this Saturday, in a couple days, and picking up the new little female Maltese puppy. And it's at least a 2.5 hour ride down and back, and then the same back. So, you know, of course, we stop and take breaks. So that even makes it a little bit longer of a ride. But I want to make sure, you know, that we do have the AC working and working properly, and that tire is working, the sensor's working properly. So, instead of going to Walmart today, we're making cinnamon raisin bread because we're down to 1 piece, and that is not going to last but one morning. And what I started to say is these loaves make pretty large bread slices. So if you want to put it in your toaster, of course, it's going to be taller than your toaster. So what I do is I cut it in half and I put it in my toaster, and it makes 1 slice will make 2 pieces of toast for breakfast, and it works out just perfect. And I got a new kitchen gadget Give me 1 minute and we'll get it out. I definitely wanted to get this, really excited about getting this, and I have not opened it yet. So, if you're wondering, what did she get? This is what I have, my new kitchen gadget. It is a traditional grain grinder. Now, this is not electric. This is a hand crank, and it is cast iron. So, if I want to have flour and I run out of flour, I have I have the wheat coming in that I can mill my own flour. So if something would happen that I would need some flour and, you know, a couple cups of flour, I can always mill my own flour. And that way I know I'm taking it, the wheat straight out, putting it into the grinder, and I'm grinding my fresh flour. So I thought this would be something very handy to have, and it is cast iron. So let's open it and see what we have. I'm pretty excited to see what we got here. It feels heavy, so hopefully it's a nice one. And yes, the bread machine is still doing its thing. I'm waiting for it to beep, and then I will add the raisins. Wow, this is actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. Oh, wow. I'm impressed already. Look at that. Just look at that. There's the cover. I'll just have to bring it all out of here. And of course, I don't want to dent anything. Wow. Let me see. What would be the best way to do this? This is really heavy. It's really heavy. Wow. Wow. Look at that. That is all cast iron. Heavy duty. And look at the size of that. Can you imagine? Here's my hand. Put the palm of my hand up. I'm just a couple, like that much of my hand over. And look, I've got two thumbs together in the back, and my fingers are not touching in the front. That will mill quite a lot of wheat into flour. So that is really going to be a nice size. I thought it was going to be smaller, to be honest. And all of the parts are cast iron. This is your clamp to clamp it down. Make sure everything's put together right. And it has a wooden handle. And this is all cast iron. And it is a Landry's. Or Landers. Landers. Hopefully you can see that okay. And it is heavy. It is heavy. So it does come with your owner's manual on how to put it together. It does come with all kinds of accessories needed to set it up, to grind your meal, your flour. See if I can get all of this back in there. And all of these parts are heavy duty. Hopefully you can see that. And they are cast iron. They are not plastic. And this is very heavy. Of course, this would be set up this way. This would clamp onto your table. You would have your I don't know where it's at. You would have your wheel, grinding wheel, inserted in so it would grind. You would have your cover so that all the food, all the flour is going down into whatever container that you want it to go down into. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss a beep. And I'm going to bring you over and let you see how nice. Now it's on its first rise. Let's see if I can turn the light on in there. There, it's on its first rise. And see how nice that cinnamon blended into that bread, and it makes it such a pretty color. So, how exciting is that? Wow. So I'm going to try and get it right back into the box, the way that it was packaged, so that I can properly store it. And anytime that I want to make my own flour, I will have my meal, my grinding meal. Wow, that is really, really nice. Very well packaged. Very nicely packaged. It is definitely heavy. Can I get some raisin bread? You sure can. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So that is the newest kitchen gadget, as I call them, to grind my own wheat into flour or my own corn into cornmeal. And it is all cast iron and stainless steel. The only thing that is stainless steel is this on the top. Very, very nice. And it is heavy. Very heavy. It is looking good. And I cannot wait to try this out. My wheat berries have not come in yet, so I'm still waiting on them to come in. So, and then I will get, I'll have wheat berries for my pantry. So anytime that I want to ground my own flour, if I just need a couple cups of flour, I can do that. If something would happen that I'm camping and I run out of flour, I can just ground some flour. Also, I want to get the corn to do the cornmeal. So if I wanted to make cornbread and I needed some cornmeal, I can grind my own cornmeal. So, how nice is that? And this is the one that I got. And durable, yes. Yes, very. It is cast iron, and this is stainless steel with a metal, or with a wooden handle to grind. Very, very nice. And actually, it was not that expensive. It really was not that expensive. So, that's the next gadget that I got in. And I'm excited to try that out. I think I'm going to put a couple extra pieces of tape on there, because I like to keep things in boxes. And it's so heavy that this box, until I can find another way to store it, I definitely want to protect the box and make sure that it stays together. So I'm just going to add a couple extra pieces of tape. There we go. I'm very impressed. I can't wait to try it out. That will be exciting. That will be exciting. Hopefully I didn't miss a beat. I don't think I did. So now the only thing I need to do is wait for this to beep, this bread machine, right over here. And you can see how compact that is. It's not much bigger than a toaster. Easy to take with you if you're traveling and make your own bread. You can make white bread. You can make banana bread, banana walnut bread. You can make actually jams in this one, which I've never tried, but I do have the ball, jelly, and jam maker. So I don't think I would want to use this for that, but it does have so many different features. You can even do, I think, different cakes. It has like all these different recipes. It has basic white bread, oatmeal bread, cinnamon swirl, rye bread, jalapeno cheese bread, French bread loaf, rustic Italian loaf, country French bread with olives and rosemary, Parmesan peppercorn French bread, funnel. You can do funnel and golden raisins, or fennel bread with raisins, basic whole wheat bread, multigrain cereal, wheat bread, nutty whole wheat bread, wheat bran bread. So there's all kinds of bread that you can make. And then there's one here for gluten-free. So if you even want to do gluten-free, you can do gluten-free. So it even gives you that option. So I'm going to go in here and sit down and wait for this to beep. Then I'll just come back in and add 1 1/4 cup of raisins. So while I'm waiting for that to beep, I'm going to go back in here and have a seat. Let me see if I can get Kitty down. Give me just 1 minute. Big old Kitty's on my spot where I need to set my camera down. And this is the kitty. Oh, and he is huge. There we go. Come on, Bobby. So, anyway, we have now that fast raisin bread, cinnamon raisin bread, in the bread maker. The kitchen is cute too. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, no, no, Kitty. Let me see if I can get Kitty down. I don't want him to bump my camera. Okay, so, oops, I forgot my coffee. I'll be right back. There we go. And let me see if I can find you something to chew on. Okay, and I'm going to sit down here and have some coffee and a cigarette. So, good morning, good morning. And yes, I have leggings on under my dress because Ryder is just learning all about the whole dresses thing. He's, he hasn't quite figured all of that out. But see how easy that was to make cinnamon raisin bread, put it in the bread maker, and then just walk away. Do whatever you're doing. Whenever it's ready for you to add your raisins, or if you want to add raisins and nuts, when it beeps, you just go back in, add your other ingredients, and just walk away and do whatever it is that you have on your list of chores to do. And when the bread's done, it'll beep, and it'll stay warm until you go back in and take it out of the bread maker. So if you want warm bread for dinner, you just leave it in the bread maker and it'll stay warm until you're ready for it. I absolutely, really love this bread maker. I didn't think I would, but I do. And Mr. Z absolutely loves the cinnamon raisin bread. And then I've made the regular bread as well, just plain white bread. And it has turned out amazing. So both of those have been great. I have no complaints with either one of those. I haven't tried the wheat bread yet. I would like to try the wheat bread, but I haven't got to try that yet. But I'll eventually get around to trying the wheat bread. So my whole day just got kind of spun around because I needed to take the car into the Jeep into the dealership and let them take a look at the AC unit to find out what is going on with the AC unit, because it's blowing heat out on the vents on the driver's side and AC out on the vents on the passenger side. And that's all AC. And I have no idea, so I took it into the dealership, and they had just done that rotation a few weeks ago and rotated all of my tires. And 2 days ago, my driver's side front, or passenger side front tire, warning come on and said 0 air. And of course it was full of air. So I don't know if a sensor went bad whenever they were changing it. I don't know if something got bumped. But since we're going to be going this Saturday in a few days to pick up the new little female Maltese puppy, we're looking at least 2 to 2.5 hour drive each way. And I want to make sure that the AC is working correctly. They had just done an oil change, so I know my oil change is good. So we're having the AC vent thing checked where it's not working correctly today. And the sensor on that front tire on the passenger side. So we will be ready to go pick up the new puppy on Saturday. Because like I said, I know it's at least a 2.5 hour ride each way. Plus my husband and I are both disabled, so we will stop and pull over and take a little break if we need to. And of course, let Ryder go POTTY when he needs to. So, um, so that changed my schedule today. So tomorrow, if I have the car back, I'll make it to Walmart. It's no big deal. I thought, it'll all be okay. The vehicle comes first. I really just am picking up a few supplies at Walmart. It's no big deal. But the vehicle is a big deal. I've got to have a vehicle with everything working correctly. You just have to have that. So, no big deal. I'll just make some raisin bread today. I'm doing bed and laundry today. And resting my foot because it has been really, really acting up this week. I don't know why, but it even hurts to try to stand for very long. So I thought, well, I can come on here long enough to put my bread in the bread maker. That's pretty quick. And then I can go take a break and wait for the add button to come on, the little alarm, go add my raisins, and I can slowly get a few loads of laundry done throughout the day and put my bed back together. So that gives me all day to do those two projects. And that's really all I have on my agenda. And I'm going to have an easy dinner this evening. I'm making Philly steak and cheese, subs, and onion rings and french fries for dinner. So it's going to be a very easy dinner. It's supposed to be 84 degrees today. And all of my wild English roses are just now starting to bloom. I went out yesterday afternoon and seen one or two blooms. And then my other roses are all budded up, and I think my pink rose bush the one that has the great big pink roses is getting ready to bring on the first rose. So I didn't know if I were going to lose them or not. It was almost frost here yesterday. We had a frost warning, but it only got down to 41. So we were good. So, and then thanks to Walmart, I went out yesterday and on my porch was a large box from Walmart. And I thought, well, I didn't order anything from Walmart. And I opened it and it is 8 64-ounce things of cherry juice, 100% unsweetened tart cherry juice. And I looked at it and I didn't order it. So I contacted Walmart and they did look everything up and they said, we're not even seeing why that would have been delivered. And I said, well, can they come back and pick it up? And they said, no, it's, we apologize for the inconvenience and it's on us. So go ahead and use it. Give it to your neighbors, your friends, your family. But no, it's our gift to you for the inconvenience. So apparently now I'm going to have to give away some cherry juice and make some possible cherry jelly because it is 100% juice and it is unsweetened. So it should make some very good cherry jelly. And I do have the ball jelly and jam maker, which makes it very nice for making any jellies or jams. I made strawberry jam with it and it turned out perfect. So I've got a year until it expires. So I'm hoping that within that year I can pass some of that on to someone that may want a 64-ounce of cherry juice. Maybe they want to make some jelly, or maybe they just like cherry juice, or maybe they have another use for it. So, thanks to Walmart, now I have a lot of cherry juice, and I can always put it in my pantry, and if something happens that I need some extra juices, I'll have cherry juice. 8 64-ounce containers. Excuse me. Now it went through its first rise. Everything has blended. Everything is all blended really well. I like adding my cinnamon right in with my bread when I'm making this cinnamon bread because it all blends really nice. And I don't have to take that extra time to make the swirl. And if you really want a proper swirl, now do you hear that? That's telling me it's time to add my raisins. So if I'm somewhere else in the house, it does give you enough of alarms that you can hear it and then come over and add your raisins. Isn't that a very nice feature? Very nice feature. So, how easy is that? How easy is that? In just a minute, I'll take you over and let you see how nice it blends. I want to let it start blending here so you can see how nice it blends. And actually, if you look here on the front of this, this is about what my cinnamon raisin bread looks like. Because it's not swirled, it's just the cinnamon raisin bread put together. Okay, let's see. Now there you can see it blending the raisins. Hopefully that's not too loud. But you can see how nice that blends those raisins right into the bread. It's just a time saver for me. See how nice that has blended in those raisins. So anyway, I thought I would bring you along this morning and let you see how I do my cinnamon raisin bread. And of course, yes, I am cheating. I am using a bread maker. So, how easy was that? How absolutely easy was that? So anyway, I need to hop off of here and go get my bed linens off and get them started in the washer, and that way I can get all my linens done today and put back. So, you know, just a couple loads of laundry, washed a load of sheets and bed linens and things, and get everything put back together. And then I can just sit back and relax and give this foot a nice little break, because this foot has been acting up this week and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was the difference in temperature, being warm and cold. I don't know. I've had some pain in the area where my stimulator is, so I'm not really sure. Hopefully it's not anything going wrong with this new stimulator, because the first one did malfunction. So, but my foot is discolored and it's pretty swollen. Yesterday I could not even, when I set my foot down, my toes were not even touching the ground. So, my foot is swollen and it is discolored. And it's just part of the injury that I have. I have, you know, good days and I have bad days, and I'm having a few bad days with the foot. So I'm trying to give it some rest. I took my Tylenol this morning, and I thought I'm going to let my bread maker do the work for me today. And I'll just do my bed linens, and then I'll do an easy dinner this evening. I'm going to make the Philly steak and cheese subs with onion rings and french fries for dinner, and just have an easy day. And hopefully my Jeep will be ready to pick up this evening, and it'll be good to go for our trip planned for Saturday to go pick up the new puppy. So I'm getting excited. I'm ready to go pick her up. She will be 8 weeks old. Hi, good morning. It's Lena. Hi, Lena. How are you this morning? I made the cinnamon raisin bread. If you want to go back and start at the beginning, you can see how I'm making the cinnamon raisin bread in the bread maker. And I just added the last ingredient, and that was the raisins. So that's what we were doing this morning. And then I also got in the new hand grinding mill to mill your own flour and cornmeal. So I did show that, and I did open that if you'd like to go back and watch those. I love the dress. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm just dressed comfortable this morning. So we did make the cinnamon raisin bread in the bread maker, and it is the Cuisinart, and it is the compact. I absolutely love it. It's a great bread making machine, and it's only myself and my husband, so it makes a 2-pound loaf, and it makes very large loaves. So I usually slice it on my bread slicing guide. I have the Our Daily Bread slicing guide, where you can just put your loaf on there and then put your knife in, and it guides you to slice your slices so they're all even. And because the loaves are large, it's a 2-pound loaf, I cut each slice in half, and that makes 2 slices of toast, or 2 slices of toast from 1 slice of bread. But you can go back and watch my live if you'd like to, and you'll see all of the ingredients and everything that I did using the bread machine. And I'll show you, it shows you the bread machine, the brand, and the different programmings, and how I program mine, and what settings I use. And then I also brought out the new hand grinder. I'm going to work today at my school disco. It sounds nice. Okay. Yes, and I absolutely love this new grinder. I can't wait to try it out. It is all cast iron, except for the part where you put your corn or your wheat berries in. The I'm not sure what it's called, and I don't want to say it wrong. But whenever you load your berries in or your corn in to grind, that part is stainless steel, and the rest of the. No, I have not tried the meat slicer yet. Um, I haven't had a chance to try it. Actually, I was going to go to Walmart today because I was doing a complete freezer rotation and getting everything rotated, and I was going to go to Walmart today and pick up some different meats and actually get to try the meat slicer and some different cheeses. But I had to take my Jeep into the shop this morning because we have a trip planned for Saturday to go pick up the new puppy. And when I turned on my AC unit, the driver's side vents are blowing hot air, and the passenger side is blowing the AC, which is weird. And a couple weeks ago, we just had it to the dealership, and they did an oil change, and it adjusted my emergency brake, and then they rotated all four of my tires. And my front passenger tire came on an alarm and was saying zero air. So I don't know if they bumped it or bumped the sensor or what they may have done when they did that rotation. So we took the Jeep in this morning and dropped it off. And I'm not going to make it to Walmart today. That was my plan today, was to go to Walmart and pick up some meats to try, the slicer, and some cheeses. But the Jeep is more important. And since we have the trip planned to go pick up the new puppy on Saturday, yeah, oh my, that's weird. That was weird. Yes. Um, it's a two and a half hour drive each way, and I want to make sure that we have AC and that that tire sensor is and that tire is okay, since they did rotate it and now it's got this sensor alarm telling me I have zero air in my front passenger tire. So hopefully we'll have the Jeep back tomorrow. Everything will be fixed. I can make it to Walmart because I want to go pick up a few more things. Not very much, just a few odds and ends. And then, of course, some meats and cheeses to try out the new slicer. And some treats for Ryder and for the new puppy that's coming. And I already have everything else pretty well planned out for the new puppy. I have training pee pads. I have a little exercise metal play area. I have everything I can think of for the new puppy. I have little teething things. I have the little frozen teething bones that I used for Ryder. And I have all of those in the freezer. And then, of course, I have different other teething toys that I got for Ryder, because Ryder is still teething. And I wanted to pick up some different TREAT that they could chew on. So, hopefully tomorrow I can make it to Walmart. Um, I tried yesterday to get things ready. I did make it to the gas station and filled the car up. And I did drive through the car wash, so I got all that done. And then I started seeing the sensor thing on the tire and the AC unit. So I called them and they said bring it in today. So they were very fast about getting it in, and hopefully we can pick it up this evening. So then my whole day changed. So today we made cinnamon raisin bread. I said, it's okay. The Jeep comes first. I can go to Walmart anytime. So today we made cinnamon raisin bread, and I'm going to do my bed linens and rest this foot. And maybe that was just somebody's way of telling me this foot needed some more rest today. Just rest a little bit. So, because Walmart is a big store and it takes me forever just to walk around and pick up a few things. So, that's kind of stressful on the foot. And I was putting it off for a little while because this foot's really been bothering me. And it is bruising a little bit and is discolored, so I don't know what's going on. Have you tasted cinnamon raisin bread? Yes, I've made it several times for my husband, and he actually loves the cinnamon raisin bread. And if you go back and watch my lives, or my live from today, I had one slice left in the freezer, so I did bring that piece out and show you what the product looks like when it's done. And then I was showing the different things whenever I added them into the bread making pan to before I put it into the bread maker, how you follow the instructions, what all you put in, and then I showed it as it was mixing up in the bread maker, and then to the final product that I had to add in, which was raisins. And now all I have to do is just let it do its thing, and it'll beep when it's done, and it'll stay warm until I remove it from the bread maker. So saves me a lot of time. Yes, it's great. It's great. Absolutely. I like this bread maker. I didn't think I would. At first I didn't think I would. But I really like it. My husband said I love the bread. It's got a good texture. It's got good taste. It has just enough cinnamon, just enough sugar. He said don't change anything on the recipe, which you really can't. In a bread maker, you need to follow the recipe. And again, if you're using the bread maker, you want to make sure it's very important that all of your ingredients are at room temperature. If it calls for an egg or milk or butter, make sure all of those are at room temperature. Make sure that you're using the bread making yeast, and then you follow right down the line each product right down the line. If it's, you know what, mine started out with milk and then the next and the next. Make sure your measurements are exact and you follow it right down the line, and it is absolutely perfect bread. And I like the fact that you can set the darkness of your crust, which will give you different colors and different textures on your crust. So it gives you a lot of options when you're making a loaf of bread. So I was showing the programs that I use, the crust color that I choose, and the size. So I did all of that on this live today so you could see that. And then once the raisins were put in, I let you see how it looked as it was blending those raisins up. And mine's not a swirl, so I went ahead and added my cinnamon to my mixture before it started mixing. And that way you could see how nice that cinnamon blended through the whole bread. So it's a basic cinnamon raisin bread and not a cinnamon raisin swirl. It's just a cinnamon raisin bread. And it is so evenly distributed throughout the bread. The bread's a pretty color, and it just smells so good while that bread's baking in that bread machine. You can smell the cinnamon and the raisins, and it just smells so good. But anyway, I've been on here now for a little over an hour, and I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here and get my my bed sheets off and into the washer and get my linens all done. I'm drooling. I love cinnamon raisin bread. Oh, this is so easy. And I didn't think I would like the bread machine, but I love it because I can just put everything in it. And especially if we're camping and I want to get up in the morning and have, bread for that evening. Or if I'm on my last slice of bread and I need bread for the next day, I can just put everything in it and then go out and enjoy the outdoors when we're camping, enjoy the sun, let the puppies go out and enjoy, the camping. So I absolutely love this bread maker. It maybe bread makers are not, everybody's choice, but I really like it. I really do. Would I recommend this particular brand? I absolutely would. It's the Cuisinart, and it is the compact. There's two different ones, and this one's the compact. It's not much bigger than a standard toaster. So number one, it's easy to store. And number two, I go camping a lot. So it's easy for me to take camping. It doesn't take up very much room. So whenever I'm loading everything up in the vehicle to go camping, it's not much bigger than a toaster, and I can load it take it with me, you know, along with my other things that I need to take camping. So, easy to take back and forth. It's small, it's compact, and it's efficient. You know, it does exactly what it says it's going to do. I have never had any loaf turn out hard or something that I didn't like. Oh, do you love camping? Yes, we do. We absolutely love camping. We camp several months at a time. So that's, if you go back and watch some of my lives, you'll see me dehydrating, and I'm dehydrating vegetables. That way they're in dehydrated and in glass jars so that no rodents can get into them. I'm doing my cake mixes in mason jars, and that way I know that they're not in a box and they're in mason jars. So if you go back and watch some of my lives, a lot of the things that I'm doing is because we go camping, and it's so much nicer for me just to have everything in mason jars, and I know that no rodents can get into them, and they're easy to store in the pantry in the camper, and I know everything is dehydrated. It takes up less space in the pantry, and you don't have much space in a camper. So if you go back and watch a lot of my lives, you'll see me preparing to get ready to go camping. And then I also do the powdered milks, the whole milk and 2%. Does your dog love camping too? Your dog is so cute when he's sleeping. Yes, he is so cute. This will be his first year camping. He is 10 months old. He'll be 11 months old on the 1st of May. And then we're picking up the new Maltese. He's a Maltese male, and we're picking up the female Maltese puppy Saturday. She will be 8 weeks old. So it'll be both puppies' first camping trip. So I'm hoping that they'll end up liking it and enjoying it. So he will have a playmate at camp. I think that will be really good for him. And I'm excited. It's getting close. We're getting ready to go camping. I did get the new hammock come in, and oh, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Um, and then I ordered the swing chairs. They're like a macrame swinging chairs, but they have not come in yet. But the hammock did come in, and we can use those here, or we can use them camping, either one. So I think almost all of my things that I've ordered has come in. Um, the two swing chairs have not arrived yet, and I ordered one large piece of cast iron for cooking over the open fire when we have the fire pit, and it's a very large cast iron, so that you know it will cover the fire pit. Um, I think I've pretty well shown everything else, the new stuff that we got in to take camping, the new things for the grill, the chicken rack. Then I got a whole chicken. It's like a beer can chicken that you can do just the regular one. And then I got another one that has the stainless steel drip pan that came with it. Um, some different racks that you could do like brats, and another one that you could do ribs. And all of those are stainless steel for camping and grilling. So, and I did show all those on some of my lives as they come in. I was showing some of the products that come in. And so far, I've been impressed with everything that's come in. So I have no complaints. So probably about the middle of May, I need to go. I'm coming back when you make another stream. Bye. Have a great day. Love you. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for stopping in. I enjoyed you being here and enjoyed you in chat. And I need to hop off of here, and I need to get a few things done. So I will catch you the next time. But thank you for being here, and thank you. You're so kind. And this one looks like he needs to take a nap. He's tired. So anyway, I'm going to hop off of here and get the rest of my day started. Okay, see ya. And enjoy your Tuesday. And if you want to try out the bread machine, don't be afraid to buy one. Don't be afraid to try it. Don't be afraid to try new things in your kitchen. It's always fun. I love getting new gadgets. I love experimenting in the kitchen. And as always, be kind. Please be kind to one another. We need to see more of that. So till next time, bye-bye. Enjoy your Tuesday. It's going to be 84 degrees here today. My roses are blooming. Oh, I'm just so excited. I'm so ready for this warm weather. I'm so ready for spring. So enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy the sunshine. Go outside. Get some vitamin D. It's good for you. So next time, bye-bye, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.